Etapu, assalamu alaikum, namaste, Haroon Nefer. This is Qesankh Keperu with another video for you. And in this video, we're going to talk about the real reason for allowing immigrants in. This is about the entire border crossing, and I'm going to talk to you about what the real agenda is. Before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe bell to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. If you're interested in knowing more about my spiritual teachings, you can become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1, $2, or $20 per month. It's up to you. There is no obligation. You'll get exclusive access to content that will go over things like how to build a magical amulet, how to invoke spirits for your protection, how do you talk to your guardian angels, how do you meditate, what are the proper breathing exercises. And if you sign up today, you'll have exclusive access to free ebooks. I used to charge for them, but now they're made available to you as a Patreon supporter. So you can go in there and you get all kinds of great ebooks and other documents. So become a Patreon supporter today. Last but not least, share this video with family and friends so we can get the revolution started. All right, Haroon Nefer. So let's talk about this border crisis and what's going on with the election and Kamala Harris. Well, let's go back a bit. We know that when Biden and Harris got elected, they repealed everything that Donald Trump was trying to do with the border. And this led to an influx of immigrants, a lot of illegal immigrants. But this was okay for the Biden administration, had no problem with this. And Trump was talking about the reason for this is that they're going to use these immigrants for cheap labor, thus replacing minority groups like Blacks and Latinos. And he was kind of using that idea as a way to garner support among the minority community for his presidency. And what we began to see is just them busing these immigrants into different cities with the directive is to put them up, give them housing. And, they took community centers that were for the native people there and gave it to the immigrants for housing and things, gave them hotels and gave them meals and money to purchase homes. This was touted in the press. And, Black people were shocked at this. Here we are waiting for reparations. And then in come this influx of immigrants. I don't even know how many. They're still debating. Some, I've heard numbers as 9 million, others is like 20 million. And they are being bussed into all these cities. And, in New York, we know the mayor had a lot of issues with this and it was fine. He was having trouble finding housing for them. And in Kamala Harris's economic plan, she even put financial support if these immigrants wanted to buy homes. So they would get they would get money to purchase these homes. So obviously, this is not fair and this is not right. You have these immigrants coming in who are illegal and they're getting all of these benefits where those who came into the country applied legally and waited out their visas or green cards or whatever. Now they're like, wow, you mean I could have came here, just walked over the border, and then you would have thrown all this money at me and given me a place to stay, and I didn't have to apply for anything, But what's the reason behind this? It's not just about using them for cheap labor, which also, by the way, and this has been proven, that when you allow a population to come in over the border like we are seeing, it changes the demographics, so this comes up in the census. But anyway, let me get to the heart of the matter. You see, Kamala Harris is running for president, and she knows that polls, most Americans don't like this open border policy. They don't like this influx of immigrants. Her and Biden could have stopped this a long time ago. They could have put constraints got a hold of this and said no more border crossings, but they didn't. But only now, in a couple of weeks to the actual election, is Kamala Harris talking about they've taken some action. But the point that we have to really look at is, but why? You know that this issue is very sensitive to American people. You know we don't like this open border. So why would you go through your entire campaign and not close that border? And there's a reason for that. And I'm going to play a clip of her on CNN where, true to her nature, she doesn't answer the question. She has the knack for a word salad going in circles and not eventually answering the question. It's confusing, but I want you just to pay attention to this and then how she goes in circles, but never gives you a direct answer. So let's take a look at this clip. I found it just very interesting. Whoop, just get it down there.
Here's the easy, simple question, and her answer. Get your stopwatch out. It's going to be exciting. Watch.
2022, 2023, there were record border crossings. Your administration took hundreds of executive actions. It didn't stem the flow. Numbers kept going up. Finally, in 2024, just in June, 3 weeks before the first presidential debate with Joe Biden, you institute executive actions that had a dramatic impact, really shut down people crossing over. Why didn't your administration do that in 2022, 2023?
First of all, you're exactly right, Anderson. And as of today, we have cut the flow of immigration by over half. In fact, the numbers I saw most recently, illegal immigration
but if
is
it was
low.
that easy with that executive action, why not do it in 2022, 2023?
Because we were working with Congress and hoping that actually we could have a long-term fix to the problem instead of a short-term fix.
You couldn't have done one and both at the same time?
Well, here's the thing. We have to understand that ultimately this problem is going to be fixed through congressional action.
Under Donald Trump, you criticized the wall more than 50 times. You called it stupid, useless, and a medieval vanity project. Is a border wall stupid?
Well, let's talk about Donald Trump and that border wall. So remember, Donald Trump said Mexico would pay for it? Come on, they didn't. How much of that wall did he build? I think the last number I saw is about 2%.
To fix the problem, you're doing this compromise bill. It does call for $650 million that was earmarked under Trump to actually still go to build the wall.
I'm not afraid of good ideas where they occurred.
So you don't think it's stupid anymore?
I think what he did and how he did it did not make much sense because he actually didn't do much of anything. I just talked about that wall, right? We just talked about it. He didn't actually.
Notice how she avoids answering the question. No, he didn't do much of anything. And Anderson Cooper, he's kind of like, staying on that issue, trying to get an answer from her, and she's still evading.
Do much of anything.
But you do want to build some wall.
I want to strengthen our border.
This is exactly why you have open primaries for candidates to debate and go against each other and have their ideas challenged, because by the time it's time for them to get to the big boy or big girl ticket, they have their message honed in.
Yeah, she wouldn't have picked.
Yeah,
she would not have been.
And this is why Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama, don't forget Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi wanted an open primary process. But Joe Biden was so bitter in the way that they got rid of him that he slammed the endorsement right after that tweet that he sent. And this is what you get. An untested, an unchallenged candidate that's not prepared for prime time.
And she gets to keep the money. She got to keep the money from the Joe Biden.
That's exactly right.
On the ticket. They could have mailed it back and then reissued it, but we never had that chance. So here's the problem. She called it multiple times a medieval vanity project.
50 times.
And now the other thing, and I have no criticism of Anderson Cooper, not that he cares, but in the middle of the desert right now are pieces of that wall. Right now, you could say you're selling it off on pennies of the dollar, but there's a lot left. Mm-hmm. It does work. The Border Patrol has said repeatedly it does help. It's not a cure-all, but it does help. Why not show you sincerely want to change things by taking the money that's already there, by a project that taxpayers already paid for, and start doing it? That would show a revelation and get people who are nervous about what you're really going to do at the border, that you're going to do something at the border. Instead, you got somebody talking in circles, had no idea how to handle a follow-up question, and has no inclination to fix the border.
Well, and we did.
And you're right. He's right that she is not interested in fixing that border. And you can see how she talks in circles, that this woman is just not presidential. You know, she doesn't answer questions. She deflects. She blames Donald Trump. And she doesn't seem to be solution oriented. But again, I want to go back. I digress on why this border issue is so important. So I want to tell you the real reason why they are allowing this. The Democratic Party, Kamala Harris and Biden, are allowing this border crossing. And the reason behind this was stated by Elon Musk. And we have to give him credit for bringing this out, because no one wants to talk about this, neither Republicans or the Democrats, because this secret is very, very explosive. Now, let me just read to you what this is a tweet from Elon Musk. It says, very few Americans realize that if Trump is not elected, this will be the last election. Far from being a threat to democracy, he is the only way to save it. Let me explain. If even 1 in 20 illegals become citizens per year, something that the Democrats are expediting as fast as humanly possible, that would be about 2 million new legal voters in 4 years. The voting margin in the swing states is often less than 20,000 votes. That means if the Democratic Party succeeds, there will be no more swing states. Moreover, the Biden-Harris administration has been flying asylum seekers who are fast-tracked to citizenship directly into swing states like Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin, and Arizona. It is a surefire way to win every election. America then becomes a one-party state, and democracy is over. The only elections will be the Democratic Party primaries. This already happened in California many years ago following the 1986 amnesty. The only thing holding California back from extreme socialism and suffocating government policies is that the people can leave California and still remain in America. Once the whole country is controlled by one party, there will be no escape. Everywhere in America will be like the nightmare that is downtown San Francisco. That is so, so deep. Let me go back to something here. Moreover, the Biden-Harris administration has been flying asylum seekers who are fast-tracked to citizenship directly into swing states like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Arizona in a surefire way to win every election. So that's why they're busing these immigrants into these specific states so they can change the demographic and win these elections. This is a very, very sinister, underhanded plan by the Democratic Party. And you can see now why this whole idea of opening the border and letting so many people in is so important to Biden and Harris. They have to keep this border open. They have to keep busing in or flying in these immigrants so that they can now change the demographic of these swing states to be democratic and win these elections. And there goes, like Elon Musk said, our democracy. So there you have it. This is the underhanded plan that the main media doesn't want to talk about, nor does the Democratic or Republican Party want to bring to the forefront and expose. So what's the takeaway here? I want you just to open your third eye. I want you to start looking at things deeper and say, why has this come up? Why is this a main issue? What's going on behind the scenes that is so important that we keep this border open, or that Biden and Harris want to keep this border open? Remember, they could have closed this border at any time. You know, they could have done it right before Kamala started to run as president, but they wanted to keep it open as long as possible to bring as many immigrants in to get those swing states. It's amazing the world that we live in now. Of course, the Republican Party does not want this to happen. Of course, this means they would lose the elections, and this is why Trump is against the wall. And this needs to be out there and told to the American people of what's going on. And this is why the Democratic Party has done everything they can to attack Donald Trump. Brought charges against him, allegedly having assassination attempts against him, attacking his character. And I want you to notice something, that Kamala Harris has a ton of money for her campaign, more than Trump. And the main media outlets are in bed with the Democratic Party, and especially Kamala Harris. She's got all these stars coming out supporting her. Spike Lee was the most recent one that I saw that I was shocked. You've got Oprah Winfrey. I mean, the list goes on. Megan Thee Stallion. And she's having these functions where it's all of these celebrities who attend, thinking that because you see a celebrity endorse her, that you want to vote for her. That doesn't work. What does work is answering the question, having solutions to problems that the American public wants addressed. Talk more about you, talk more about your policies, your economic plan, and make them have real solutions. Nothing I read in her economic plan is so groundbreaking. It's about change. We've heard all this stuff from Obama. Remember, Obama ran about change. What did he change? He did nothing. So Kamala Harris is trying that same thing, that same trope. And it's not going to work this time because people have seen through it, and they want real solutions. She only has 2 weeks left. So she needs to get on the ball and stop with the celebrity endorsements and talk about the solutions. So now we know what the real agenda is and why they want all these immigrants to come in as fast as possible. And now she's pandering to, I mean, the first thing she did was she's pandered to black men because she saw she was losing support among black and Latino men. So she came out with her plan for black men, which was a joke. The plan said that she would try to make marijuana legal. She would endorse cryptocurrency for black men. These aren't issues that we want. And then a couple of weeks before the election, she decides to not close the border, but just decrease the amount of immigrants coming in. I think she said by 50%, but not close it. If you were running for president and you knew that the American people wanted that border closed, wouldn't you close it? But no, this secret agenda is why she's still keeping it open. I want you to think about that and then just train your third eye to look deeper into these things. Thank you for tuning in. This is Qesankh Keparu, son of Ma'at and Tahuti. Ma'at is the beautiful goddess Heteru. Until my next video, I'm in Ra.